Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're going to be looking at Pfizer,
Okay.
ticker symbol PFE.
Oh, right.
I'm sure you've heard of them, maybe from their vaccine.
Sure have.
But there's way more to this company now in 2025 than you might think.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with them.
We're going to cover, their stock, how it's doing.
Yeah, how are they doing financially?
How financially sound are they, their strategies, even some technical analysis.
Okay, cool.
By the end, you'll know what's up with Pfizer.
What's interesting is they're kind of at a turning point.
Oh, really?
You can see it in their stock.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster for investors.
It has?
Just on February 13th, the stock jumped over 5%.
Wow.
But in the past month, it's down more than 14%.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Compared to the market as a whole, which is up slightly.
Right.
What gives?
Well, Pfizer's huge market cap of over $144 billion.
Wow.
Like, imagine owning a tiny slice of something that big.
That's incredible.
Their revenue is strong, too, over $63 billion.
Wow.
But their profit margin, while decent at 12.6%, could be better.
Okay.
And that's where their strategies come in.
Interesting.
They're not just banking on vaccines anymore. They're looking to grow in new ways.
Okay, so let's talk about those strategies.
Sure.
How is Pfizer setting itself up for the future?
Well, they've got a 4-part plan.
Okay.
First, they're focusing on portfolio evolution.
Portfolio evolution.
Basically moving beyond vaccines into new areas with big potential.
Like what?
Like oncology, rare diseases.
Instead of putting all their eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Diversification.
Why oncology and rare diseases, though?
Well, they see a huge opportunity in personalized cancer therapies.
Okay.
Current treatments have limitations, and Pfizer thinks their expertise in genomics and targeted drug delivery will give them an edge.
I see.
As for rare diseases, there's a huge need there.
Okay.
And because those treatments are specialized, they can often charge a premium price.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the second strategy?
It's all about R&D, research and development. They're putting a ton of resources into data science and AI.
Oh, wow.
To speed up drug development.
So they can innovate faster.
Exactly, faster and more efficient.
Like giving their scientists superpowers.
Yeah, kinda.
That's a huge advantage in such a competitive field.
For sure.
What's next?
Their third focus is on the supply chain.
Okay.
They're using cutting-edge tech to make it more resilient.
Makes sense.
Remember all the supply chain issues a few years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Pfizer's working hard to be ready for anything.
That's got to be critical for a global company like them.
Absolutely essential.
All right, what about that fourth strategy?
This one's a bit more flashy.
Okay.
Remember their $43 billion acquisition of Segan?
Of course. That was huge news.
It was Pfizer's making big moves to strengthen its position in key growth areas.
I see.
They're on a bit of a shopping spree. Will be interesting to see who they target next.
So they're diversifying their portfolio, boosting R&D,
Right.
strengthening their supply chain, and making big acquisitions.
That's the plan.
Quite a plan.
It is.
But what are the analysts saying?
Yeah, good question.
Do they think Pfizer could pull this off?
Management is projecting growth of 10 to 18% for 2025.
Wow.
Which is pretty impressive.
It is.
And analysts are even more optimistic, projecting around 14% annual growth.
Wow.
Over the next 3-5 years.
That sounds promising.
It does.
But those are just projections.
Right.
Things could change, right?
Absolutely. Things can always change. That's why it's so important to understand the market factors that are impacting Pfizer's stock price.
Okay, so what are those market movers?
All right, let's dive in.
What's been making the stock jump around lately?
Well, the first big factor is their recent earnings report.
Okay.
Pfizer reported solid results for 2024. Their revenue hit $63.63 billion.
Okay.
Almost reaching the top end of their guidance.
So they exceeded expectations.
They did.
That's always good news.
It is definitely a positive sign.
What else is impacting the stock?
Their management reaffirmed their revenue and earnings expectations for 2025.
Okay.
Which provided stability and reassured investors.
Good.
That the company is on track to meet its targets.
Stability in a volatile market.
Right, exactly.
That's got to be reassuring for investors.
Definitely.
What else should investors keep an eye on?
There's a lot of excitement around their obesity drug candidate, danuglipron.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Investors are really hoping for good news in the first quarter results.
Fingers crossed.
That could push the drug into phase 3 trials.
Yeah, the obesity market is massive.
Huge.
If danuglipron is a hit, it could be a game changer for Pfizer.
Absolutely, a potential blockbuster.
Wow.
And remember their love for acquisitions.
Oh, yeah.
There are rumors they're actively looking for more companies to buy, particularly in that growing obesity market.
Interesting.
Any announcements there could shake things up.
So investors should definitely watch for news about acquisitions.
Definitely a key thing to watch.
Okay, what else?
Well, Pfizer's also focused on becoming more efficient. They've
Yes.
implemented cost-saving programs,
Smart.
which are helping to boost their profit growth.
Okay.
This is good for investors. It
Oh,
shows the company is serious about maximizing profit
right.
and maintaining that dividend.
They are known for their dividends, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They increased their quarterly dividend by 2.4% in December 2024,
Wow.
marking 15 years of dividend growth.
That's impressive.
Makes them attractive to income-focused investors.
It does.
Yeah.
So we have solid earnings, reaffirmed guidance,
Uh-huh.
exciting drug developments,
Right.
potential acquisition,
Keep an eye on those.
cost-cutting measures, and a reliable dividend.
Yeah, a lot going for them.
Pfizer seems to have a lot going for
Me
it.
too.
But you mentioned uncertainty around vaccine policy.
I did.
What's that all about?
Well, potential changes in U.S. vaccine policy are creating uncertainty.
Okay.
This could impact their vaccine sales.
How so?
Things like decreased demand from governments,
Okay.
lower uptake rates,
Hmm.
changes to vaccine schedules.
I see.
All of that could affect their revenue.
Okay, so vaccine policy is definitely something to watch.
It is.
We've covered a lot here,
We have.
from financials to strategies to market factors.
Yeah, good overview.
But there's one piece missing:
What's that?
technical analysis.
Oh, yes, the charts.
Let's take a look at what they're saying about Pfizer's short-term prospects.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so when we look at those technical indicators, what are they saying about Pfizer?
Well, it's a mixed bag.
Okay,
There are some signs pointing toward a bearish trend in the short term.
bearish trend. Does that mean the stock's likely to go down?
It could.
Okay.
A lot of technical analysis is about probabilities, not certainties. Think of it like reading footprints in the sand.
Okay,
We can get a sense of where the stock price might be headed based on what other investors are doing.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, good.
So what are the footprints telling us about Pfizer?
One indicator we use is the Relative Strength Index, or RSI.
Okay.
Right now, Pfizer's RSI is hovering around 41. This suggests that the stock might be nearing what we call oversold territory.
Oversold, what does that mean?
Think of it like a rubber band stretched too far.
Okay.
Eventually, it snaps back.
Yeah.
When a stock is oversold, it means it's been selling off a lot recently.
Uh-huh.
It might be due for a bounce back up.
So even though there are signs pointing to a potential dip,
Right.
this RSI thing suggests a rally could be on the horizon.
Exactly.
That's what makes the market so exciting.
It is.
It's never a straight line up or down.
Nope. Lots of twists and turns.
All right, so we've covered Pfizer's financials, their strategies,
Yeah.
market factors influencing their stock price, and even dipped our toes into technical analysis.
A good overview.
What's the big takeaway for our listeners?
Good question.
What does this all mean for someone thinking about investing in Pfizer?
The key takeaway is that Pfizer is at a crossroads. They have a strong foundation, a generous dividend, and big plans for growth, but they're also in a period of transition.
Right.
And there's some uncertainty as they navigate a changing healthcare landscape and things like shifts in vaccine policy.
So there's potential, but also some risk involved.
There is.
What advice would you give someone thinking about buying Pfizer stock?
I always say, do your research,
Yeah.
really understand the company's strengths and weaknesses,
Okay.
and be honest about your own risk tolerance.
That's important.
Don't just buy a stock because you heard something good on a podcast
Right.
or saw a chart that looks promising.
Yeah.
Take the time to learn about the company and its potential.
Great advice. Knowledge is power.
It is, especially when it comes to investing.
Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up?
Yes, one thing to think about.
Okay.
We talked about Pfizer's plans to move into new areas like oncology and obesity.
Right.
But how will they actually make that happen? These are complex and competitive fields.
They are.
How will they differentiate themselves from other companies?
Yeah.
Those are the key questions to watch in the coming months and years.
Interesting.
Pfizer's success and your potential return as an investor depends on how well they execute those plans.
That's a great point.
Thanks.
It'll be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
It will.
So for our listeners who want to keep up with Pfizer, what's their ticker symbol again?
It's PFE.
PFE. We've covered a lot of ground today on Investing Talk Podcast.
We have.
From Pfizer's financial performance and their plans for the future to all the market factors and even some technical indicators shaping their stock price.
It's been a journey.
It has been a wild ride.
Yeah.
But hopefully you've gained some valuable insights along the way.
I hope so.
Investing is a journey.
It is.
And it's one you don't have to take alone.
We're here to help.
We are.
Remember, the future is never certain.
True.
There are always risks and opportunities.
Yeah.
But by staying informed and being prepared to adapt, you can position yourself for success in the ever-changing world of investing.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks.
We want to thank you for joining us on Investing Talk Podcast today.
Appreciate you listening.
We hope this look at Pfizer has been informative and helpful.
I hope so, too.
As always, we encourage you to keep exploring the world of investing.
Definitely.
There's always something new to learn.
There is always something new out there.
So keep learning, keep growing, and keep investing in your future.
Well said.
And be sure to subscribe to Investing Talk podcast for more in-depth analysis and market insights.
We'd love to have you back.
If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with your friends and family.
Spread the word.
And leave us a comment with your thoughts on Pfizer's future.
We love hearing from our listeners.
Until next time, happy investing. It has been a wild ride, but hopefully you've gained some valuable insights along the way.
I hope so.
Investing is a journey, and it's one you don't have to take alone.
We're here to help.
Remember, the future is never certain.
That's for sure.
There are always risks and opportunities.
Always.
But by staying informed and being prepared to adapt,
Right.
you can position yourself for success in the ever-changing world of investing.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
We want to thank you for joining us on Investing Talk podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We hope this look at Pfizer has been informative and helpful.
We hope you learned something.
As always, we encourage you to keep exploring the world of investing.
Definitely.
There's always something new to learn.
So much to learn out there.
So keep learning, keep growing, and keep investing in your future.
Well said.
And be sure to subscribe to Investing Talk podcast for more in-depth analysis and market insights.
We'd love to have you back.
If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with your friends and family.
Spread the word.
And leave us a comment with your thoughts on Pfizer's future.
We love hearing from our listeners.
Until next time, happy investing.